Okay, hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sabrina and welcome to Sabrina's Book Nook. I'm just gonna get straight into the video. Today I am going to be doing a book versus movie comparison, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies and I just recently read the book. I'm going to be doing Perks of Being a Wallflower book versus movie. So like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite movies, obviously by the poster behind me. I don't even know how many times I've watched it, honestly. And as for the book, I only read this book a couple days ago actually. It was a really short read, only took me about like 2-ish hours I think. And I watched the movie first, obviously. So reading the book was very interesting. I guess I'm gonna have to say which one I prefer, book or movie. Okay, great. So let's begin by talking about the movie. Where do I even begin? Like I said, if you couldn't tell by the poster behind me, I love this movie. I love it so much. I love the cast, I love the story, I love the cinematography. Is that a word? Cinematography? I don't know. I've heard like film people use it. And you know, like I said, amazing cast. Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, Ezra Miller. Pretty sure Mae Whitman is in it as well. Paul Rudd. Just amazing people. You know, there's also iconic scenes like the tunnel scene, which, by the way, I have an entire Spotify playlist dedicated to tunnel songs, which I will link in the description because I'm insane. I'm not insane, I just love this movie. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Iconic scenes like the tunnel scene, also the living room routine, which Sam and Patrick do at the homecoming dance. The movie, I feel like, is like a perfect mix of awkward, realistic coming of age movie while also feeling like it's the type of world to only exist in film. Does that even make sense? I don't think that makes sense. It's fine. Oh, also, fun fact, Ezra Miller and Emma Watson apparently love to dance. They love to dance. So they work together with a choreographer to come up with the living room routine, and I find that so cute. Anyways, fun fact aside, I think the only problems I have with the movie are two things. One, the kiss the prettiest girl in the room scene. That's not like an actual criticism, more of a I can't watch this scene without hiding my face behind my hands or just skipping it. I can't stand the scene. It just gives me secondhand embarrassment. The second problem I say I would have with the movie is Sam and Charlie's relationship. And I know this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I think their relationship is really weird. Sam is a senior, Charlie's a freshman who is recently dealing with some hardcore trauma after his best friend, you know, himself. And I feel like it was really creepy for Sam, again, a senior, to be dating and to be into Charlie, a freshman. And you know, if the roles were reversed, people would automatically point out how creepy it is, but because the roles aren't reversed and because it's a female senior and a male freshman, people don't pick up on it as much. You know what I mean? Yes, they are both in high school, but Sam is like nearly an adult and Charlie is just fresh out of middle school. So the age difference in this particular situation actually matters a lot when it comes to, you know, just overall mental and emotional intelligence as well as just developing like as a teenager. However, I think that their age difference can also be explained by the characters and the trauma they face themselves. You know, Sam was taken advantage of when she was younger, and she doesn't want Charlie to go through the same thing, where she doesn't want someone older taking advantage of Charlie, so she figures she can give him the real love he deserves because she knows she's not going to do anything harmful towards him. And Charlie, you know, he was molested by Aunt Helen, and so he's looking for comfort from someone older, aka Sam, and this is sort of where she comes in. So yes, I don't approve of their age difference. However, I also think their relationship can be explained, and why, because of their ages, their relationship also kind of makes sense. I just rambled on for like 5 minutes. I don't even know if that made sense. Overall, still an amazing movie with a fantastic soundtrack, stellar cast, one of the best movies ever in my opinion, and I definitely think it's gonna be a classic in the future, even though it kind of is already. I feel like everyone has seen this movie, you know? Now let's move on to talking about the book. Alright, so like I said, I watched the movie before I read the book, and usually I don't like watching the movie before I read the book because it doesn't give me a chance to form my own opinions and my own sort of versions of what the characters are in my head. Because I watched the movie first, I was picturing the characters from the movie in this book, which conflicts, I feel like, a little with the descriptions, because yes, while they are still very similar, I feel like there are subtle little differences that don't make them the same character, which is why it was sort of hard for me to read this, because I kept picturing like two different people as the same character, which is really annoying while reading. The book is basically like the movie, and you know, this is obviously because Steven Chbosky, the author of the book, also wrote the screenplay and directed the movie. So obviously the two are going to be extremely similar because the author of the goddamn book also directed the movie. So it's literally his like vision. I think the main thing that differs the book from the movie is the writing style. The book is styled as letters that Charlie sends to his imaginary friends, right? And because of this direct sort of writing, there's a lot of blunt statements, so there isn't much confusion in the book, but also because of this sort of blunt, very standard sort of writing, there's also a lot of subtext as well. However, one of the things I do love about this book is Charlie talks about his English teacher is saying his writing is getting better, and as you're reading the book, you can see his writing actually getting better through his letters, which I think is a really cool way to actually show his progress rather than just him talking about it. As for relationships, I mentioned earlier that I don't like Sam and Charlie's relationship, and I think Sam and Charlie's relationship is a lot more romanticized in the movie than it is in this book. So their relationship in this book, it really isn't that much of a relationship, which I actually love because the book does a better representation of their relationship, which is good. Sam and Charlie's discussions on romance actually shows their own issues with intimacy and opening up to other people, which is a lot different than what goes on in the movie. And you know, the book also talks more about Charlie's mental health struggle and his mental issues, and also talks more about Charlie's relationship with Michael, you know, his best friend who himself in middle school. The movie, I feel like, just sort of brushed over Michael, but the book goes a lot more in depth into Charlie and Michael's relationship. There are also events that happen in the book that don't happen in the movie, like Charlie's sister getting an abortion or Charlie developing a smoking addiction. And the events that do happen in the book are also a lot clearer and less confusing. For example, Aunt Helen molesting Charlie, or at least his memory of her molesting him, is a lot easier to catch on in the book versus the movie. Bill and Charlie's relationship, you know, teacher, student, mentor, is also explored more in the book, and their relationship is just so sweet, so cute. I love it. And the book holds up to the actual title a lot better. The title is Perks of Being a Wallflower. And while the movie briefly says wallflower, it doesn't actually go into depth. This book actually talks and shows Charlie being a wallflower, someone who's on the outside observing and noticing other people. And this book actually shows him being a wallflower. So now let's talk about book versus movie. Which is better, book or movie? Before I answer that, we actually need to compare them. To start off with, I definitely think that some scenes are better translated in the book and some scenes are better translated in the movie. For example, the tunnel scene, absolutely better translated in the movie. You know, in the book, it's cool, but in the movie, you get to see it happening and you get to see why it's such an important moment for Charlie. However, like I said, there are also scenes that translate better in the book. Like I mentioned, Aunt Helen molesting Charlie, it's a lot clearer to understand in the book versus the movie. And also, Charlie's struggle with mental illness, I feel like, is depicted better in the book as well. Anyways, like I said, the book and the movie are super similar because Steven Chbosky, the author, also directed the movie. So obviously they're going to be super similar because it's his vision that's playing out on screen. Honestly, if you enjoy the movie, you'll enjoy the book. If you enjoy the book, you'll enjoy the movie. They're really just interchangeable, honestly. However, if I had to choose book or movie, I would say movie. And this one, honestly, is just kind of half personal bias, half actual comparison-wise. Like I said, it's my favorite movie, but this isn't my favorite book. Still a good, like, short little book to read at like an airport, in a coffee shop or something. And you know, it's a great coming of age story that depicts mental illness and trying to figure out who you are, and it tackles tricky and heavy subjects. But still, I think the movie is just better. The movie, you're able to see everybody's emotions, because in the book, it's only Charlie's POV and his assumptions about other characters. In the movie, however, you get to see everything play out on screen. You get to learn about the characters yourself and not only through Charlie's lens. So yeah, I think if you were to compare the book and the movie is better. However, honestly, the amount of time it takes you to watch the movie, you could probably finish the book in one sitting. Like, the movie is like, what, 2 hours long? That's how long it took me to read this book. So really, they are interchangeable. If you like the movie, read the book. If you read the book and you liked it, watch the movie. Okay? Great. Okay, that is all I have to say on my Perks of Being a Wallflower book versus movie comparison. Yeah, that's the entire video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, don't give it a thumbs up. If you really hated the video, give it a thumbs down. But that would be not great. If you want more videos from me, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!